There are some women who don't just become part of pop culture, they quietly shape its most iconic moments. A presence linked to music, fashion, art, and an entire era of cultural change. Elegant, mysterious, and endlessly inspiring, that was Pattie Boyd. Born in 1944 in Taunton, Pattie grew up during a Britain that was still recovering from war, long before the explosion of fashion, music, and youth culture that would define the 1960s. But when that cultural revolution arrived, Pattie seemed to embody it perfectly. Her rise began in modeling. With her striking features, natural elegance, and unmistakable 1960s style, Pattie Boyd quickly became one of the most recognizable faces of London's fashion scene. She appeared in magazines, advertisements, and photo shoots that captured the spirit of the era, modern, youthful, and effortlessly cool. But her story became larger than fashion. While filming A Hard Day's Night, she met George Harrison of the Beatles. Their relationship quickly became one of the most famous romances of the decade, placing Pattie at the center of the biggest cultural phenomenon in the world. Yet what made Pattie Boyd fascinating was that she was never simply the wife of a Beatle. She became a muse in her own right. George Harrison's Something, often considered one of the greatest love songs ever written, was inspired by her. Later, Eric Clapton would famously channel his feelings for Pattie into songs like Layla and Wonderful Tonight. Few people in history have inspired music so deeply woven into popular culture. But behind the glamour and legendary songs was a woman navigating enormous public attention, complicated relationships, and emotional challenges that were far less romantic than the mythology surrounding them. Over time, Pattie stepped further into photography and writing, reclaiming her own voice beyond the stories told about her by others. Her memoirs and photography offered a more personal, reflective view of the extraordinary world she lived through. What makes Pattie Boyd unforgettable isn't just the famous relationships or the songs inspired by her. It's what she represented. A certain kind of 1960s beauty, not only physical, but cultural. Creative, stylish, free-spirited, and deeply connected to one of the most influential moments in music history. She didn't just witness an era, she became one of its symbols. And perhaps that is her true legacy. Because when people remember Pattie Boyd, they don't just remember photographs or headlines, they remember the inspiration behind timeless music, and a woman whose presence somehow became woven into the soundtrack of an entire generation.